Welcome to all of you beloved motivators. I'm Marlene Motivates, and on this channel, I speak about motivation, inspiration, positivity, all of those things. So, today I wanted to talk to you all about a topic that is very important to me, and that's letting it sink in. Depending on what you have gone through in your life, depending on if you have had a really great childhood and have never had self-esteem issues, you've had very healthy relationships, or based on if you have had toxic relatives, whether it be your parents or your siblings or whoever it is. This message is for you. We need to understand that it's okay to let go of things that no longer serve us. It's okay that certain things that we were told when we were younger, none of it was true. I had to let that sink in, that certain people in my life could not give me what I needed. I needed to sit and let that marinate inside of me. Oh, my phone just fell down. Sorry, guys. I apologize. Um, I had to let that sink in to myself, that certain people could not give me what I wanted. Certain people couldn't give me what I needed because they don't know how to give that to themselves. See, people cannot give you love if they don't love themselves. People cannot give you support if they don't know how to support themselves. And I had to learn to be okay with that. I had to come to terms with saying that to myself, that I can never be what other people want me to be. All I can ever be is myself. And the moment that you come to that realization that who I am is enough, I'm enough, I'm special, I'm important. And because certain individuals in our life can be toxic, I'm going to be very vulnerable today and be honest. I grew up in an environment that was, I wouldn't say toxic, but I would say dysfunctional. I grew up in a very dysfunctional family where nobody communicated what they were feeling and what they were going through. So I grew up feeling that way, that, you just keep everything inside. And that is a toxic behavior. And we have to, as adults, realize that the things that we were taught when we were young was not good. It takes many years for us to develop all these pain and all of these things, all of these skeletons in our closet. But all it takes is just a moment. It just takes a moment for you to come to the realization that I'm worthy. It just takes a moment for you to come to the realization that I matter. It just takes that moment, just having the idea and the thought that I can do great things, and great things is meant to be for me. And that's why I come onto my platform every single time and I speak this message, because I want to speak to somebody who is feeling downhearted today, somebody who is feeling discouraged, someone who feels that they have no value, someone who feels that they are not important, maybe because the people around them, or because they can no longer do what they used to. Just because there are people in our lives that are toxic and users and don't know how to love themselves, it doesn't mean that we cannot make a change within ourselves. See, that's something that I had to allow to sink into my own mind, that just because other people in my life don't know how to love me, it doesn't mean that I can't start with today learning how to love myself. Now, I know that that's a challenge for many people, because when you come from toxicity, when you come from a toxic environment, when you come from people always using and taking and never pouring into you, never saying an encouraging word, it's hard for you to come to the realization that I am somebody of worth, that I do have value and I can do great things. But just because something is difficult for you, or just because something is new, it doesn't mean that you can't shift and change. You can shift and change anything you want in your life. You can shift all of those negative things out of your mind. See, for many years, maybe you were taught all kinds of things, maybe, or said you were nobody important, you're not special, you're ugly, you're all of these things. Hey, wellness. Hi, friends with super channels. Hi, Glenda. How's everybody doing? Everybody, all of you motivators. I hope you guys are ready to receive this message today. Happy Friday to each and every one of you. And I want to say to every single one of you to let some of these things sink into your brain. Maybe it's a new concept for you to learn to love yourself. That may be new for some. I know it was a new thing for me. Not that I didn't love myself, but it was new for me to say, I deserve to have my own time. That it's okay for me to turn off my phone. That was a new concept. It's a new concept maybe for me to not always be doing all the giving, that it was okay to receive. That was a new concept for me. I would feel guilty so often when I thought about doing something nice for me, like something was wrong. And toxic people will make you feel that when all you're doing is pouring love into yourself, all you're doing is being positive, all you're doing is using your gifts and your talents and loving yourself. A lot of people who are willing to do those things don't like to see you shining. They don't like to see you winning and elevating. So I had to learn to let that sink in for myself. That even if you don't love yourself, I had to stop self-sabotaging my own success. I had to stop dimming down my light. I had to stop dumbing down my talent, And I'll tell you what I mean by that. For many, many years, I've always wanted to motivate people and encourage people. But when you have people in your life that no matter what it is, whatever your gift is, whatever your talent is, and there will be individuals in our life, mainly toxic people, most of the time it's our relatives that will tell you, oh, that won't work. That's stupid. So we have to start working on our own self and to say, regardless of everything that you think about me, regardless of if you like me, regardless if maybe you went through a situation, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen to me. I had to ascribe a new mindset, new opportunities to myself. I had to go about learning to believe in myself, even when it wasn't easy. Now, I'm not telling you that it's going to be an easy thing, because it's not. When you start developing a healthy mindset, a healthy focus, it's not going to be easy for you. It's not going to be easy to change. Hey, official, how are you doing? Hi, wellness. It's not going to be easy. It's not. I'm here to tell you that. It's not going to be easy when you've done something for a long time, or when you've been always around toxic people all the time. It's hard for you to make changes and to develop into healthy thinking, healthy mindset, and even getting yourself excited or encouraged to go after your dreams. I just saw. Hi, Lulu. How are you doing? Marlene, you are truly an inspiration to me. You have helped me so much through life, and I am so beyond grateful and thankful for this. Never stop. Oh, I appreciate you so much. Filmed by Lulu. Thank you so much. And I wanted to say this because I'll tell you all something. I came from an environment to where I knew that the people around me, that they probably meant the best for me. And maybe you have people in your life, they probably want the best for you, but they don't know how to love themselves. So it may be a new concept for you that even though the people around you don't love themselves, even if the people around you don't pour into themselves, it should not stop us from pouring into ourselves. It should not stop us from having a positive mindset and a positive focus. But the only way to do that is we have to believe in ourselves. That's something that we have to let sink into our own mind, regardless of my environment, regardless of what I have done in the past, regardless of any of it. I can make my life as good as I believe it. Now, I know that that's something easier said than done. It's easy for us to open up our mouth and to give advice. It's easy for me to open up my mouth and to say to you all, be positive, be encouraged, be inspired, use your gifts. Yes, it's an easy thing to say, but it's another thing to do, to take, the positive thoughts and the affirmations and then apply it to your life, and tell yourself, get up and fight again. But I want this to be something that we are developing within ourselves, regardless of my situation, regardless of the talk on the outside. And the outside talk is something that can get us so down and discouraged. See, I want to talk to all of you motivators and let you all know that whoever you are, however you are, whatever other people say, no matter who likes you, no matter who doesn't like you, it's all irrelevant. We have to know who we are as women. You have to know who you are as a man. To all of you, know your own self. See, and that's usually a thing that we don't let sink into our brain. We get so involved with what's going on social media, having all of these things that it's about the financial things, right? It's about the money. It's about the glitz and the glamour and the shoes and the houses and the cars and the clothes and who you're in a relationship with. People only want to highlight the positive, where life is not just that way. Life is not all roses and sunshine. Hey, Tamika, how are you doing? Shout out to the mods on deck and shout out to everybody who's in the chat. Happy Friday. I hope everybody's encouraged on today. And I wanted to say that, when we go through things in our life, right? When we go through situations, when we go through problems, when people say hard things to us, mean things, I can say for myself, hey, Darren, how are you doing? Welcome. I can say for myself, I know they always say sticks and stones, and words may never hurt you, but it's not true. The things that people say, it can hurt us for a long time, especially when it's your own family, especially when it's your own parent or your significant other, your spouse, or it's a friend or somebody who claims to be a friend. It hurts. But we cannot let what other people are saying or what other people think about us or who likes us to stop us from being our best, to stop us from having a positive mindset, a positive focus, and healthy mental health. Now, I want to talk to you all for a moment about mental health, because mental health is so important. How you're dealing with your life, how you're coping with it, or how you're not coping is very important. If you're not doing okay, please talk to somebody, regardless of what other people are saying, no matter what other people say, and all the that comes with it. People always want to judge other people. And I've been dealing it with my whole life. People always want to judge you based on what they think that you should do, based on what they want for you. But that's not what's important. What is important is for you to be in your own skin and learning to love the woman or the man that you are. Who do you say you are? That's a concept that needs to be started and poured into from our youth up. And it's the job of parents and adults, and also as other adults, supporting and encouraging one another instead of always coming at another person, always judging other people. You never know what somebody is going through. I know I've said that hundreds of times on this platform and all other platforms that I speak on, and even when I do mentorship and professional speaking, inspirational speaking. When I talk to individuals, that's usually always the problem, is other people are always putting out negative energy to others. And people don't know what you're going through. You never know who is right on the brink of trying to unalive themselves. You never know if somebody just, even though they can appear to have everything going on, but you don't know what their mental health is. You don't know what they're coping with in their physical body. You don't know the issues that they could be having with their family. You don't know if that person could have just lost a job. You don't know if that person could be homeless. And not all the time when people have circumstances that they make those decisions. Sometimes life just happens. You could lose your job. Hey, John, how are you doing? Welcome. Yes, Darren, be a good listener and surround yourself with positivity. That's so important for us to do those things. And those are some things that we have to let that sink in. Don't let social media, don't let views and likes, don't let what other people are saying about you be what you think about yourself. I know that there's a lot of hatred that happens on social media, and it starts from a young age. And I always feel saddened for the young people because they're bullied because of maybe them just standing out and being different. We need to teach more acceptance of others that are different, that want to do something different, want to be different. And as parents, as adults, we have to band together and say, bullying, no, we're not going to stand with bullying. Whether it's on the job, whether it's on this app, whether wherever it is, even in our own families, because bullying is everywhere. It's not just something that happens as a child. Bullying is your whole life through. So I wanted to come on with this message and to say, letting some things sink in that matters, not letting the things that are negative sink in. Hi, Dirt Diggers. How are you? Appreciate the like. Not letting the negative. And I know for myself, I allowed a lot of negativity to sink into my brain. Don't let the negative, we have to be like a force field and be very careful of what we allow to get into our space, into our bubble. Don't let the negativity from outside, whether it be your family, whether it be your friends, whether it be social media, don't let anybody tell you who you are. This is a concept that we have to let sink into our own brain. I'm somebody. I may be different. I may not have the life that other people have. I may not have the financial means of other people, but I'm myself. See, that's the concept that I want for everybody to sink into their brain. How I am. Loving yourself. That's what matters. That is something that needs to go viral. People need to learn to love themselves instead of being in other people's business. That's usually the biggest problem. People are not loving themselves. They don't know how to love themselves. So they look at another person and they try to find a way to pick apart another person. They try to find a way to bring somebody else down. They try to say something and do something to get another person down. Hi, Keisha. How are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And that's one of the things that I think is so important for us to put out there, a very important concept. We need to learn to be respectful of others. And that's one of the things that we have to learn. I had to learn about setting boundaries. And we really do. Hey, Nark, how are you doing? Happy Friday. Happy Friday to everybody in the chat. That's one thing that we definitely have to learn. We have to learn to respect others that are different. We don't have to all be the same. We don't have to dress the same, talk the same, have the same lifestyle, the same financial means. No, we're not. Because if one person has a lot, then they're better than a person who doesn't have that much. No. At any moment, you could lose everything and be in the same position as somebody else. We could. Anybody could lose a job. Anybody could lose a home. Anybody could develop a health problem. So all the people who are judging you or if you hear things from other people, don't be so quick to believe everything you hear, because a person who likes to talk about somebody else will talk about you. I had to learn that from experience. Don't be so quick to be on somebody's side that is against another person, whether it's on social media, whether it's on the job, whether it's within your relatives. People just don't understand other people. They just have no idea the things that you go through. And I don't share everything that I go through on my social media, which I don't think anybody should. But I have real problems. I have real issues. And people can be very heartless and cold. Some of the comments that you get when you are on social media, people pick you apart. So you have to be strong. This is the message that I want to say to all my content creators. You have to be strong. You can't let other people get under your skin. You have to know yourself. This is a very important concept, not only for content creators, but every single human being. You have to know yourself. You have to know what you're worth. You have to know what you're passionate about and what you like. And when people come around you and they don't like it and they may say mean things to you and nasty things to you, don't let it get inside of you. Don't let other people get you down because of what they think. See, their opinion, that don't matter. Yes, it's insensitive. Yes, it can hurt. Yes, it's rude. Yes, all of those things. But we have to, the concept that's important to let sink into our brain is that regardless of who likes me, regardless of what I have done, regardless of what I have been through, I still have value. See, that's what I want you to sink into your brain, sink into your mindset, okay? Seek that into your brain that I'm worthy. Hi, I'm probably going to say your name wrong. Shinone. Welcome. We have to let that sink into our brain. We do. We have to let it sink into our brain that we're worthy, that we are somebody, that we are talented. Okay? You are. You're talented. Okay? You're talented. You're gifted. And when we go through situations, maybe you have to reset your life. Maybe you have to make a new start. And I know many people had to during C-19 because people lost their jobs. And a lot of people are still dealing with the residual effects of that. The economy. Everything is so expensive. Dealing with things and not wanting to be around people. It's a lot of issues that happen that is not being addressed because of C-19. But that's a conversation for another day. But I wanted to come in with this message today and let you all know and understand and know that you have value and worth. Let that sink in regardless of what I'm going through, regardless of how many subscribers or views or clicks, regardless of even our own family. Because sometimes our own family does not accept us and treat us the way that we deserve. They don't support us the way that we deserve. Even your own spouse or significant other may not treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. Okay? Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here. And thank you, everybody, for the likes. I definitely appreciate it. And I wanted to say that regardless of what your situation, I felt so led to talk about this topic of letting things sink in, because if we allow the wrong things, if we allow the negativity, if we allow the projections, if we allow the fears from others to sink into our brain, we'll always feel discouraged. We'll always feel downhearted. And life is hard enough. Life is hard enough. We don't need any extra pain. We don't need any extra misery from other people. That's why we have to have our own self-worth. You have to have your own thinking about myself. Are you self-aware? Do you love yourself? See, that's a concept. A lot of people will say that very freely and loosely, I love myself. But when a situation comes up where we need to make a decision to show how much we love ourselves. Hey Lydia, how are you? Welcome. When we have to make a decision to show that we love ourselves, like blocking people, not showing up where to things that where we're not respected. You know how like people will invite us to things, but at the same time they're judging us and looking at us sideways or being very disrespectful. No, no, no. No, no, no. Dirt Diggers UK says, even though I know all of this, it's nice to hear it again, like a refresher. It's good to hear from someone else. I appreciate you in these topics, Marlene. Well, I appreciate you as well. I appreciate all of my motivators family. And I love to come on and to motivate and inspire every single person. It doesn't matter from a young child to a person who could be 90 years old, 100 years old, whatever your age is, we can always, you know, even if you have for the past 20, 30 years of your life, if you've been surrounded by negativity, even if everybody has always said you're foolish and you're ugly and you're stupid, but we cannot let those things penetrate into our mind and cause us stress, cause us anxiety, cause us to be stuck. See, we have to block out that negative, and sometimes literally block people's phone number, block ourselves from going around certain individuals that don't wish us well, even if they can say with their mouth they care about us and they love us, but all they do is take advantage of us. See, we have to let it sink in that I have value, and because I'm valuable, I don't have to take your foolishness. I don't have to take your disrespect, and that involves any and all relationships, on the job, with friends, quote unquote, with your relative, spouse, or significant other. If people come at you in a disrespectful way, you don't have to take it. That's something that we have to let sink in. For a long period of time, I would allow my relatives to run all over me because that's just how family is. That's just how that's how they choose to treat themselves. But just because another individual doesn't love themselves, or they're in a negative space, or they're unhealed, they won't work on themselves, that doesn't mean that we have to treat ourselves that way. See, when you value yourself, you block out everybody else. Say, no, no, no. If you cannot respect me, you cannot have a place in my life. And that's something that I have to remind myself from time to time. Yes, we try our best to be patient with others. Okay, we try our best to be understanding because everybody has bad days. You know, I have my bad days, and I know that you all have bad days as well. But we cannot let people take advantage of us. We can't. Even sometimes there's certain individuals that, you know, they don't mean to be hurtful to us. They don't mean to do certain things, but they do what they do because they're going through something. They're having their own personal issues, right? And we just have to let those individuals, you know, based on your belief system. I'm not here to push my beliefs on anybody. That's not my job, okay? It's not my job. This is a safe space. I'm not here to pass judgments on anybody. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to tell anybody how to live their life. That's not my business. But it is my job to talk about my journey of self-healing. I went through, for a very long period of time, hating myself, hating my life because of the things that people had said. You know, when you grow up in an environment and you're not told how loved you are, how special you are, how valued you are, how, you know, you're talented. And sometimes some people just don't know how to give you that because people can only give you what they possess, right? So sometimes they can't. Some people can't. They're incapable of showing love to you because they don't yet know how to love themselves, you know? And I had to come to that realization. And I was angry for a really long time. Like, why don't they ever love me? Why don't they ever show up for me and support me? But I had to put that in my mind that somebody cannot give what they don't possess. So I wanted you all to understand this and to let this concept sink in. All you can do is be yourself, you know? And whoever needs to hear this message today, you're valued. You are valued. You are important. And it doesn't mean because certain people don't value you, it doesn't mean you have less value. No. You have value just because you exist. I remember when my therapist told me that. I remember crying, like I was just crying when she told me that, because it was one of the first times in my life that I actually had been told that I was valuable. Sometimes family and other people in our life don't know how to show appreciation and love to us. All they know how to do is use us. All they know how to do is just take or put their hand out, wanting more. Give me more, give me more. Actually not asking, but demanding, give me more. And then when you can't, then they drop you, okay? So that gets exhausting. It gets exhausting to be the person that always is giving and never receiving. But I had to learn that, well, why is that happening to me? Because I allow it. And if we're honest with ourselves and we let that sink in, what do I allow? How do I allow people to talk to me? How do I show up in this world? Do I show up with high vibrations, high energy? Or do you show up very sullen, very downcast? See, people are going to match you with your energy. So if you show up with low energy, low vibration, complaining all the time about your life, that is what you're going to receive back. You're going to get the energy you put out into this world, okay? And I had to learn that, yeah, I was angry, and I was angry and justified for many reasons because of the lack of love, the lack of compassion and understanding and kindness and all of those things. But then when we become an adult, now we can't blame anybody anymore. Now this is your time. Now this is my time. Yeah, things happen, but you have to heal that. That's something that I had to let sink in. How long are you going to be angry? How long are you going to complain about what happened a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Whoever hurt you, and whoever harmed you, forgive them. And I know that it's easier said than done. It's easy for me to say out of my mouth, and you're like, I know, Marlene, but you don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be in your shoes. I know that people can be very insensitive, but it's so vital for your mental health, for your physical health, okay? For you to understand that I have to forgive you so that I can live my best, so that I can possess joy, so that I can have peace of mind. See, we can't have peace until we make a decision to say, I don't want to be angry anymore. I'm in a season of healing. I'm in a season of elevation because more is ahead for me. See, I had to develop that concept and nurture that inside of me. It was not natural for me. It was not natural. I didn't grow up in an environment to say I could achieve and I could motivate and encourage other people. I didn't come from motivation, but that was always a seed that was implanted on the inside of me. And every single one of you has something about you that a seed is inside of each and every one of you. What are your seeds? What do you choose to plant? How do you choose to blossom? See? And I had to understand that certain individuals in my life were causing me to not being able to blossom because they were weeds, because they were toxic to my mental, physical, financial, and emotional health. Okay? And because they were toxic, because they're mean and nasty and hateful, even sometimes just pure evil, I had to make a choice to choose me. I I had to make that choice. And every single human being, every single motivated person has to make a choice. I'm not going to be angry anymore. I'm not going to allow people to get into my bubble. I'm not going to allow people to make me have a negative mindset. See, now that's my job as an adult. And it is. That's your job as an adult to say, I'm not going to be angry anymore. I'm not going to allow people to manipulate me and use me. Nope. I'm not doing it anymore. Let's see what I missed here in the comments. Keisha says, very true, Marlene. And Tamika says, absolutely. What we allow will continue. Yes, Narc. Yes, what we allow will continue. If we continuously allow people to take advantage of us, if we don't put up a stop sign and tell people, no, I can't show up for you because you don't show up for me. No, I will no longer support your negativity. No, I'm not going to partake in gossip about another person. I'm not going to do it if it's not about positivity, if it's not about elevation, if it's not about healing, if it's not about progressing, if it's not something that is going to help me, it's hurting me. And that's something that I had to let sink into my own mind. And you have to let that sink into your own mind too. If it's not helping, if it's not healing, if it's not something elevating, don't have any parts of it. Don't have any parts of negativity. If it's not positive, it has to go. Okay? So they may have to go. You know, so I found that the healthier that I got, the happier that I got, the healthier that I got, you know, not only mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, my health followed as well. Because when you're at peace here, you can be at peace in your body. So much things follow. I had to let that sink in, that first I had to make a decision to love me first. First, I had to make a decision to love me before I would start drawing the same energy towards me. Keisha says, thankfully, I had so much positivity early in my life that when I encountered mean girls in middle school and high school, I was already above them in self-esteem and self-love and self-confidence. That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. And I'm so happy to hear every single person that is on a road of elevation, whether you grew up in that environment or whether it's learned. It doesn't matter when you get to positivity. It doesn't matter when you get to elevation. It doesn't matter when you get to, I want to be inspired. It doesn't matter when you say, I want to progress. I want to stop procrastinating. I want to have a fabulous life. It doesn't matter when you make the decision. All that matters is that you make the decision. That's it. Hi, He Slays. How are you doing? That's all that matters. It doesn't matter about when you win. It's just about saying, I'm going to. It's just about speaking it to existence. And I say this all the time. You become what you think. That's something that you have to let sink into your brain. If you always tell yourself that you can't, you won't, nothing is going right, everything follows the talk you have in your mind. And when you say in your mind, I can't, guess what? You don't. You've already said it. So I had to start working on my positive self-talk. And when I'm feeling down, or maybe there are times where you just cannot possess, okay, like I don't have it today. I'm feeling down, I'm feeling discouraged for one reason or the other. That's why it's so important, your environment, who you associate with, what you listen to, not only on TV, social media, whatever, but making sure you are surrounded by people who will encourage you, not people who will want to start foolishness and drama and talking about other people. That's the reason why sometimes we don't achieve and get to better and move on with life. It's those same people who just sit and they accept the same things from day to day. They never try anything new. They never get into that uncomfortable mode to get to comfortable. I know that I had to do that for myself. I had to get to the space to where I was very uncomfortable. being vulnerable, stripping down yourself and saying, I need to work on this, this, and this. I have to stop being angry about what this person and that person did. See, I had to let that sink in. I can't change my mom, my auntie, my cousin, my friend, this person and that person, anybody, whoever you're in a relationship with. You cannot make people love themselves. You cannot make people show up the way they deserve, or the way you want them to get. I had to learn that for myself, that no matter how much I love somebody, they have to make a decision to love themselves. They have to make a decision to say, I'm going to change. They have to make a decision to say, I'm going to keep trying and I'm going to keep going until I do win. See, and I have that drive within myself. And I'm always talking to other people, no matter what the challenge, no matter when you hit a roadblock. Tell yourself, I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep on trying. I'm going to keep on fighting because I deserve to be happy. I deserve to have peace. I deserve to use my gifts. I deserve to love myself. I deserve to be healthy in more ways than one. Financially, spiritually, physically, all of it. And I have to speak it over my life. Every day I wake up, so I receive everything positive. I receive it because it is a part of me. It lives within me. It's all about the mantras and what we speak over our life. And if you don't speak life over your life, guess what? There's always going to be evil out there. Oh, okay, you're not prepared. You have to suit up every single day you wake up. You have to get your mind right. You have to get your heart right. So when you encounter negativity, you're like, they're not worth it. They don't know me. Okay? Don't let people who don't know you, don't let people who are irrelevant or lazy or jealous or whatever make you think you have less value. Never do that. Never let a person, they don't know you. They don't know nothing about you. I say that all the time when I'm on social media. I get some of the nastiest comments about so many things about myself. What qualifies you to motivate other people? How do you think? You think you know all these things. You're not a doctor. No, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lot of things, but my qualification is my story. My story, my past, my journey qualifies me. And I'm going to tell you all something. I went through a very low period in my life. A very low period in my life where I attempted many times, not once, not twice, not 3 times, more than 4 times I tried to unalive myself. But God had a purpose for me, and God has a purpose for you all. Even when we don't understand. Hi, Olivers. Even when we don't understand, even when people aren't showing up for us in the right way, we all have a purpose. And depending on your beliefs, I'm not here to spread beliefs or faith to other people, but I'm just saying what works for me. What works for me is knowing that I can't do this alone. So I have to tap into my spiritual world. I have to tap into great friends and associates. I have to read positive content. I have to feed my mind. It's my job to encourage myself. And the same thing for you all. It's your job to encourage yourself. If you feel down, and honestly, when you feel so down that there are times that you can't even encourage yourself. Sometimes you don't even know what to say. Those are the times where you need to call a therapist, call a counselor, a life coach, a friend, a supportive person, and just say, today, I don't know. Today, I'm just not in a very good mind space. And that's where you have great people in your life that will speak over your life. I am so honored that I have people in my life that will speak over my life and say, no, Marlene, you're motivated. You're here for a purpose. Never stop being yourself. Never stop telling people that they can continue on, because I'm here to tell you, I didn't read it in a book. I lived that. There were many days where I didn't want to continue. There were many days I wish the sun wouldn't come up. There's many days I wish that I didn't wake up. because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my purpose. But now that I have tapped into my purpose, now I'll scream it from the rooftops. Not only you have a purpose, but I have a purpose. I'm somebody and you are somebody, okay? But when we go through situations in life where we hit roadblocks and we hit walls, and when people hurt us and actually cut us to our heart, they cut us so deep. And it could be our own relative, it could be your own friend, it could be your spouse or significant other, it could be people that you trusted. And it's just like people pouring salt into a wound. It hurts so bad. But we cannot let other people, we can't. It's not optional. We cannot let somebody else stop us from being happy. That's my responsibility. That's your responsibility. If you're unhappy, you have to ask yourself why. Yes, exactly, Keisha. We have to pour encouragement into our children because this world is cold, and if we don't prepare our kids, the world will eat them up. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. You know, and I say this all the time to all you parents, caregivers, anybody who pours into kids, or those who have special needs, those with disabilities. It's not an easy job to be a caregiver, okay? It's not an easy job to be an adult. It's not an easy job to be responsible. It's not. But you have to make sure that you also are taking time out for you. That's just yours. And that doesn't make you selfish. It means that you love yourself. So all you moms, you dads, aunties, uncles, grandmas, caregivers, all of it. Receive it. You know, receive it and take that into your brain. I deserve to take some time for me because I love myself. Because I love myself. And because you love yourself, you should too. You can relate, Narc? Yes, Oliver's. Hi, Disappear again. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Keisha says, and sometimes that pain, salt in the wound, will aid in healing us from the very thing that caused the hurt to us. Yes. You know, I always say that all the time, and other people will look at me like I'm crazy. I'm grateful for my pain. I'm grateful for my hurt. I'm grateful for my disappointments. I'm grateful for the people who backstabbed me, because it turned me into being a stronger woman. I couldn't be able to speak about how I felt when I wanted to unalive myself. I couldn't be able to tell people how it is to move on after losing your father, your mother, your brother, your aunt, all within 1 year. I didn't read that in the book, but I can tell you from experience, I know about loss. I know about disappointments. I know about hard times. I know about being stabbed in the back. And I didn't read that in a book. And that's what qualifies me. My pain qualifies me. My healing qualifies me. All the tears that I cried, all my disappointments, all my years in therapy qualified me to be able to speak and to say to you all, don't give up. And I'm not saying it, don't give up to you only. I say it to myself every single day. Every day I wake up. It's not that I don't remember my problems. It doesn't mean I don't get discouraged. I'm human. I'm human just like you all. I hurt. I bleed. I cry. I get sad. I get discouraged. I feel ashamed. I get disappointed. I get discouraged. I feel like I have less value sometimes. Everybody goes through those seasons up and down. I can't lie and be like, oh no, all the time I'm positive. No, I'm not. I'm not always positive. But I try to keep myself positive. I try to maintain a positive attitude regardless of my situation. So that's why I can say this to you. Let it sink in. No matter what I'm going through, no matter what I'm dealing with, no matter who likes me, no matter who loves me, no matter who values me or doesn't value me, I'm still somebody. Okay? And I'm saying that to somebody who needs to hear it. No matter what, no matter what, no matter what another person has said, no matter even what you have said, no matter what you have done, when you learn to forgive yourself, and that's something that we have to sink into. When I forgive myself, even if somebody brings up your past and say, you did this or you used to do that, okay. See, when you can accept things, it doesn't hurt anymore. When somebody says, oh, remember when you used to do that? Okay. Yeah. I said, oh yeah, I remember. I remember when I was immature. I remember when I was low vibrational. Okay. I remember all of those things. So when someone brings it back, I don't get mad anymore. Say, yeah, I remember when I was immature. I remember when I didn't love myself. I remember when I let people run over me like a doormat. But not anymore. That's why I can be qualified to be here in this moment and to say it to anybody who needs to hear this message. No matter what you have been through, no matter what you have done, no matter what other people have done to you, no matter what you're dealing with financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, no matter what, don't give up. Let that sink into your brain. Thank you so much, Keisha. Narc says, it's normal, Marlene, to have days where we feel down, but we can't stay stuck there. You know, that's so important. That's so important. That's so important to remember that you're human. You know, I had to, when I was going through therapy, that was something that I struggled with for a really long time, probably about 3 years after my dad passed away from cancer. And I struggled and I struggled and I struggled because I don't know who's ever been through this like me, but when there's not even a word for when you lose your parent, you know, what is it called? Parentless? I don't know. But it was such a big gaping hole in my heart. And when you really love somebody, whether it's a parent, a spouse, a child, when somebody you love passes away, it's an emptiness inside that is a void that can never be filled. Yes, an orphan. I couldn't think of a word. Wellness. Thank you so much. When you feel that way, like, because, you know, it's natural when you go through something, the natural thing is for you to run to your mother, run to your father, okay? But then what happens when they're gone, okay? Or the same concept of what happens if you're in a relationship and the relationship ends and you were used to depending on that person. Now I can't depend on that person anymore. Does that make me have less value? So that got me down for a really long time. It did. It got me down for a really long period of time, because if you pour all your value into a title that I'm a daughter, or I'm a son, or I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm a brother, I'm a sister, but what happens when those people are not in your life anymore? Does that mean that you don't have value? No. We have to think of ourselves. I'm valuable all on my own. I'm not my value is not determined on who is in my life. My value depends on me. Okay? My value depends on me and what I choose to do with my life. You know, and I had to go through, and I made up a concept called turning your pain into your power. And that helped me through the times where I didn't want to be here anymore, where I didn't have any wherewithal, I didn't have any get up and go, any drive. No, I didn't. I just like, please. I used to be like, please, I don't want to wake up anymore. Please, just take me out. That's how I felt, because I didn't know the purpose of myself. Thank you so much, Narc. I had to learn that for myself. Until you learn your own purpose, until you learn your own light, no matter what your circumstance is, no matter what you have been through, turn your pain, turn the hardest darkest times in your life and turn it into your power. Use that painful situation and use it as your rocket fuel to get you to the next level. Use that pain and put it into your passion. Put it into giving back to the community, or in using your talent or your gift. Okay? But don't let your pain keep you down. See, all of that I had to learn. It's a choice. You got to let that sink in. Every day you wake up, you got to make a choice, and you have to say over your life, today I choose to live. Today I choose to elevate. Today I choose to show up and give others love. Today I choose to love myself every single day. In the ebbs and flow of my life, in my hard times, in my good times, in my dark times, and all my in-betweens, I choose joy. I choose peace. I choose elevation. I choose prosperity. All of those are my portions. And we have to say that to ourselves. Those are things that we have to let sink in. So when issues happen and problems and drama and being backstabbed and being hurt and disappointed and all of the things that come at us as an adult, we're not less. And I know that. And I'm grateful for my pain. I'm grateful for my hurt, my struggle, the people who told me I couldn't do things and I was nothing and I was ugly. All of the things, we can always think about all the negativity that has come at and being fired on us. You have less value because of the way you look, because of the color of your skin, because you're a woman, because you're this, because of your nationality, because of whatever the issue is. Okay? Because of your age, because of whatever, insert whatever it is that people have said to you. Regardless of all of that, I had to be convinced first of my worth. I had to be convinced. And that's why I came on here to say that to all of you. Let it sink in that you have value. Let it sink in, I have value. I'm not going to let the fears and the projections of other people get me down anymore. I used to let other people's negativity, the ones that didn't like me, the ones that didn't think I could do things. You show up every single day. You hold your head high. That's what they don't want. There's people out there that are so evil, mean, and twisted that they want to see you down. They want to see you crying. And they want to say, I told you you couldn't make it. Don't do it for them. Do it for yourself. Every day you wake up and prove to yourself, see how strong I am? I wanted to give up today and I didn't. And that's the time where you give your own self a high five and say, you keep on going. Be encouraged. And you got to say, I believe in me. And I believe that from deep down in my heart. Uh-oh, it froze. It froze. I don't know. It's frozen. So I think that this is a good indicator. It's time for me to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you motivators. Thank you for your support. I do these motivations every single Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Please make sure, if you have not already, hit the like, and I will see you all on the next motivation. Bye-bye, everybody.